I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Steins Gate, Season 1, Episode 16. Last episode was... It was great. It was great.
It was great.
It was awesome. Son of a bitch. You know? I am in a weird place in terms of Suzuha and Daru, because I went from being like, oh, definitely father-daughter, to they're making it like too obvious that it would be father. So it can't be. But now I'm like, what does this guy have to say about the pin badge?
I mean, no, honestly, as soon as Daru made an inappropriate comment to Suzuha, I was like, he's her dad.
Yeah?
100%. I was like, as soon as, I was like, they wouldn't give me this, like, horrible, uncomfortable comedy gold.
Yeah.
Unless he ends up being her father.
Yeah.
That was the turning point for me in, like, solidifying the theory. But also, why does the pin have to be the father's pin? Why can't it be the mother's pin if she... You know?
That's what we were thinking.
So,
could be. There's a kidnapper on the loose. That was so good. The flyers. Okay. All right. I'm ready. You ready? Sweet.
Like a barrel. Barrel tighter? No. Just like a barrel. Barrel って日本語で樽のことだよ。樽? この前ライネットのアニメに出てたのです。
Taru is close to Daru.
樽や風船みたいな大男ってこと？その男の連絡先は？
手がかりなしか。でも注文したピンバッジが出来上がれば。
注文せずに帰ったそうだ。
そっか。
Huh.
時間を遡れば。
To when the guy placed the order?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not Daru.
Barrel, and then we get Taru that sounds like Daru. This idea that they might be more round. They're just messing with me. After I said so sure of myself before this episode started that horrible, uncomfy,
it solidified
inappropriate
the fact
comment
that,
had to solidify it for me.
I feel like they Steins Gate has me in the palm of their hand, and they are going every which way about it.
And they're just laughing about it.
Yeah. Sacrificial.
I know, that word is scary.
Oh, shit.
Sacrifice.
Making up for previous mistakes.
そんなこと言ったっけ？確かに見た目は不摂生で冴えない感じなのにね。考えを改める。
Oh no. Again.
ダル君とすずさんって結構お似合いだね。私さ、君たちには本当感謝してるんだ。初めてこの時代に来た時、知ってる人は誰もいなくて、の時代の方がすごく平和なのにさ、私にとってはすごく怖かった。君たちと同じ時間が過ごせて。
He realizes what it means now.
Yeah.
That it's a goodbye.
ラボメンの一員になれてよかった。よかった。
言ったら戻ってこられない。
きっと未来を。
きっと未来を変える。今みたいな自由な世界に変えてやる。
岡部倫太郎。
思い出を作ったことを後悔していないか。必然ならば最初から俺たちと仲良くなどならなければよかったと。
70年代だって悪くないよ。そこでまた君たちみたいな友達を作って自由に生きていく。
It's probably better than the life she came from.
I don't want Suzuha to go.
大丈夫みたい。ほんとすごいよ君は。もっと喜んだら。 君はタイムマシンを修理したんだよ。こういう時は大安吉日、それとも友引き。
あ、でも友引きはいいのかな。向こうで新しい友達が早くできる。
バチか、それはいいね。
The little second pause that Daru had, but then he was like,
何これって。それはね、父さんがつけたタイムマシンの名前。入るかなと思ってお気に入りなんでしょ。
The technology of a new bike is going to spiral the past out of control.
doesn't Daru name a lot of the inventions?
Yes. Remember, he picked the.
しかもその人は今このすぐ近くにいるのです。どこに？ずっと思ってたんだ。二人はなんかお似合いだなって。それは二人が親子だったからなのです。すずさんのお父さんはダルくんです。はい。それはジョークになってないでしょう。
説明してくれ。どんな理由でこの結論に至っ
The name.
ダジャレ。
そんなことが理由になるか。
There's more.
すずさんがいたレジスタンスを作った人の中にはバレルタイターさんもいたんでしょ。
Why wouldn't Daru be there?
オカリンのリーディングシュークリームに。
リーディングしたいな。
そしてマユシーの見つけた一番の証拠はフューチャーガジェットのことだよ。
未来ガジェット。
この横にも文字があるでしょ。
Second.
The 2.31. Oh my god.
セカンドエディションバージョン 2.31。
父さん。
そういう時はパパと呼びなさい。
私、父さんに会うために父さんの作ったタイムマシンに乗って、父さんのやろうとしてたこと私絶対にやりたがるから。
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
だから見ててほしい。
見てるよ。絶対に見てる。母さん可愛かった。ノリ顔で背が小さくて巨乳っての希望。
それは内緒にしとく。
Oh, cute.
じゃあそろそろ行くよ。きっと IBN5100 を手に入れてみせるから必ず君たちに託す。それじゃ35年後にまた会おう。
Oh.
君たちにとっては数時間後か。
きっとまた会おうな。僕その時まで頑張るからさ。だからすずも頑張れ。
God.
Has vanished.
このピンバッジ、私たちのイニシャルだったのかな。
Fuck.
橋田の H。
God.
ダイバージェンスメーターの値が変わっていない。
There's still uncertainty.
すずは54歳になってるわけっしょ。自分の娘が30歳以上年上。
ひいおじいさんらしくドーンと構えてね。
I'm nervous.
I'm so scared.
ミスター・ブラウン。
Mr. Braun is Suzaha?
橋田すず。
もしかしてすずさん？
昔俺が世話になった人からの手紙だ。今日お前に渡
She took care of Mr. Braun when he was like a kid?
今どこに？
亡くなったよ。10年前だ。
岡部倫太郎様。今は西暦2000年の
Oh, look at
Daru.
Daru.
13日です。失敗した。
失敗した。私は失敗した。失敗した。失敗した。失敗した。私が私だということを思い出したのはほんの1年前だった。私はこの24年間記憶を失っていた。これじゃ未来は変わらない。 IBN5100 は手に入れられなかった。 ごめんごめんね。私は何のためにこの年まで生きてきたんだろう。許して許して許して許して。もしも時間を戻せるならあの日の私を引き止めないようにしてほしい。こんな人生
無意味だった。ミスター・ブラウン。
あ、どうした？しけた面しやがって。
この胸に刻みつけておかないと。
あまり言いたくはないんだがな。自殺だ。
When she realized that she'd wasted
そんなことになる1年ぐらい前から精神的に不安定だった。
millions.
俺のせいだ。俺が鈴葉を引き止めたからタイムマシンは壊れてしまった。
ちょっと岡部、何するつもり？
What she told him to do.
マユリが
そんなことしたら全部消えちゃうんだよ。すずさんとの思い出も全部なかったことになっちゃうんだよ。
分かってる。
未来を変えてほしい。オカリン。
Okay.
なんだ岡部。
自殺ですか？
は？病気で亡くなったんだよ。あの人の住んでた家は今は俺が使ってんだ。
この自転車。
ああ、それはすずさんがすっげえ大事にしてたんだよ。全部なくしちまった俺をすずさんがこの家に下宿。
She probably knew Mr. Braun's past from working for him.
なんでこんなによくしてくれるんですかと尋ねたことがある。巡り巡って人は誰かに助けられて生きている。だから君もいずれ誰かを助けてあげなさいってな。こいつはすずさんの持ち物だった。何の数字かわかるか？
It's a different one.
私は変えられたのかなって最後までなんか気にしてたんだよな。
She would have never known.
ダイバージェンスの数値は変わっていた。マユリ！
どうしたんオカリン？
なんでもない。
ひょっとしてオカリンだった？よく寝てたから起こせなかったんだけどさ。
鈴葉、これで世界は変わったのか？マユリは救われたのか？
Okay, that was episode 16 of Steins Gate. Suzuha was my favorite character. That was really hard for me.
You know, we read the word sacrificial and it worried us, but I don't know why I ended up being so emotional and surprised at the fact that she didn't rejoin them at the end. You know, I saw it, I was like, oh, sacrificial, it's more just like it's going into the unknown, but that doesn't mean there's going to be a bad effect.
There's going to be a permanent end
a permanence to it, yeah. So I was like, wow, it's scary. She's going into an unknown, a scary thing. She's going to be tackling it by herself. There's a lot of pressure on her. She's taking the sacrifice. I thought that was the end of it. I didn't think that it was going to be like she doesn't rejoin them as friends.
Yeah. And it had to be the episode that like the on-screen revelation between Daru and her happened.
And to have that, and then the world line changed at the very end, I feel I almost don't have tons of thoughts in my head at the moment, other than just I think I'm like ruminating over the last, right before he sent the D-mail, and Miri's reaction, and knowing that this means that you're erasing Daru, knowing that his daughter did this.
Yeah.
And the memories that they have with her, and taking those away. Like, we've talked about before how some of the things that have been changed with the D-mail, if you were to like reverse those changes, there could be negative impacts on the people that you care about, that you're letting use the D-mail. And the reason they did the D-mail to begin with was something important to them. And then you'd be kind of playing with their memories and their desires in reversing those decisions. And how already that's an uncomfortable situation to be in. And now that last... I feel like that's all I can think about at the moment. It's just that last sequence of Mayuri's reaction and knowing what Daru would be losing.
And the fact that Kiyoma's doing it, that he's not breaking that promise that he's going to change the future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to be the thing that continues to push him to make the choices regardless of how hard they are, in order to find that future.
It's a big promise. It's a big promise to make, and he made it. And we get him making it in this episode in the same conversation, basically, with Suzuha on the roof, where I remember I wrote down last episode, honest and brave to save the world. And in that episode, he was very hesitant to the idea of, like, why does it have to be me that saves the world?
Yeah.
Why is all this pressure on me? And it's like now in this episode,
he has the reading Steiner.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be him. I don't know why I didn't like think about the logistics of Suzuha never being able to go back, or think that was a possibility.
Like, why does the time machine only go back and
Yeah.
not forward? That didn't occur to me at all. Because I didn't think of it because there was no need. There was no, like, oh, they need to go to the future to do this. Because why would, they're trying to change the future. Why would they be going to the future? So I never questioned what the time machine could actually do. I was purely just thinking about what they would utilize it for. But then to know that it's not even capable.
I was like, okay, one of two things is going to happen. If Suzuha ever returns to her time, it won't change. It'll be a different, world line where she's truly from permanently, or things would change because of, like, butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck. When they read the letter, and it was just Suzuha repeating, I failed, I failed, I failed. I was
And they switched
dying.
it to her saying it instead of Okabe reading it. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And then she felt that she had wasted all that time.
She had lost her memory for
I didn't realize
24 years.
Yeah.
And then the last year, and then she committed yeah.
She placed herself in the right place both times. She took in Mr. Braun. She did something good for him because when she comes to this time period first, he gives her a job.
Yeah.
And a connection to Okabe in the lab and all these precious memories that first time she went back before the world changed, she had forgotten.
I liked that Mayuri was that person who conveyed the information of and realization that Suzuha and Daru were connected, because I don't think that there would have been another way to do it, really.
So it brings you back to the line that Kurisu has had with Okabe in the past about believing that Mayuri's the one that notices more than they all do.
Yeah.
And so it really felt good and special and trustworthy information. Like, oh yeah, like you listen when Mayuri's saying this.
Yeah.
Wow. So I don't know much about time travel, so I guess I have like a little question for you. I don't know if you'd know an answer, but if Daru continues on his life, say we're in this world line that we ended on.
Yeah.
Suzuha went back in the past and she took in Mr. Braun and she died from an illness. If Daru still meets Suzuha's mother, will will she give birth to Suzuha again?
Yeah.
Okay.
In this
Cool.
specific line.
Cool.
I don't know what's going to happen if we ever get past the 1%, though. You know?
Mm.
But yeah, everything should go the way that they do. That being said, the Suzuha that we know is dead.
Yeah. The one that you have all the memories with. And obviously, based on how she was raised and how she came to be, her personality would probably be somewhat different, and who she ends up being in the future.
But also, Daru would never know it was the same person.
Daru, yeah.
Daru could name Suzuha after herself and not realize that they were the same person.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
He could be like, oh, I liked that name.
Yeah. God. I love the characters in the show so much. That,
wait, in this world line, does he know Suzuha's name?
Yeah. I think so. Miss Amane?
But in this...
I think so. I could be wrong.
Does Daru say it in this, now that we've sent the D-mail?
I don't know if he says it, but I think that he knows it.
See, I'm like, I don't think he would if I'm trying to like figure out how it works. Because if she didn't, because she tried to make it so she didn't come to 2010. So then he would have never met Suzuha, and she never worked for Mr. Braun. She basically gave Mr. Braun a home in the world line we're currently in. So that means Daru would have never met her, because the last world line is when they knew her as a kid.
You're right.
A young person, when she came back to them. So that means in this current world line we're in, to me at least, in how my brain is working, is that Daru wouldn't even know her and have any memories of her.
So what did the D-mail actually say?
I thought it said CERN. It happened really quickly.
No, it did say CERN.
But I don't know what it actually told him to do. Obviously, it was to tell him not to stop Suzuha from what she was doing.
But then, therefore, she would have already come to 2010. If it was...
Yeah, but they wouldn't have interacted, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe they would have.
In the going to the time machine meeting.
Yeah, so Daru would have met Suzuha beforehand, and then she would have disappeared.
Correct.
But okay.
But
God, this is so confusing.
Time travel, baby. So the second time that she died from an illness.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Mayuri situation.
I'm gonna make an assumption, that's probably not the case, but I just thought would be interesting. Any idea that like there's an illness related to time traveling itself?
I can see it.
And doing that is like it's unknown territory.
I could see it like shortening your lifespan.
Yeah, or like there's like side effects to it.
I mean, especially when we know that, like, Daru and Okabe are dead.
Yeah.
Even though they started the resistance. I mean, they probably died. They could have died in the resistance, but it is interesting to think that, I mean, it is this unknown technology, and putting your body in a situation that is wild. But it also is very reminiscent of the Mayuri current situation that we don't know if it's been resolved or not, of, like, it seems like she's gonna die no matter what.
Yeah. I wanted to get your take on what you think of Kurisu's expression when Daru and Suzuha are having a moment together. I came to see you in the time machine that you made. It's like
she's probably thinking about her own dad.
That's what I was thinking as well. But it was like the expressions were like she looked away for a second and then like just kind of went back to appreciating the moment.
It also could be part of her personality is to be initially stubborn.
Yeah.
To not wanting to believe things. And so it could have been her being like, just let this moment happen.
Yeah.
Or it just could have been the fact of like father-daughter joining in time travel and time machine building is kind of what she wishes she could join in this with her dad. Yeah. And she can't have those kind of conversations anymore with her dad. Either one.
So I am left with like, how do we get closer to the 1% at this point without a time machine, without Suzuha's
We literally
involvement?
lost two big things. Well, okay. In this world line, we're now at Suzuha's house, which is now Mr. Braun's house. We've been given the divergence meter. Mm-hmm. We haven't been given a letter saying I failed.
Yeah. So you'd wonder maybe
it's in the house. Maybe Suzuha left it at the shrine. you know?
Yeah.
So, at the moment,
I'm going to write
I feel
down.
like things could end up being good, maybe. You're
Yeah.
going to write the number down for the divergence meter?
Is Moeka here? And in what, like, severity is she here? Because obviously they don't come to kill them at this point.
And by the time that we met up with Suzuha and didn't stop her, we hadn't decided to release the time machine to the world and then not release it anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions because what exactly did the text message say? The D-mail say? It
Said
said
something
CERN.
about CERN, yeah.
So I think we're kind of in a position of unknowing.
And who did he text it to? Was it himself?
He needed to make sure that he didn't stop her.
Yeah. Like, God, I wish I could read Japanese fluently. Ocarina, you said, God, that expression from Mayori, too.
And just the fact that Daru isn't saying anything, but you can just tell by the shot where they don't even show his face that I think he's probably torn on it. I'm sure Daru's probably torn because he would want a future where she didn't kill herself.
Yeah.
But also losing the memory of getting to meet her and getting to know that was her would be upsetting for him. But he obviously doesn't stop Okabe or say anything the way that Mayuri does. So it seems like there's probably a battle within himself of like, well, I don't want my daughter to end up feeling like she wasted her entire life and failed me.
Yeah. I loved just like the through line of Daru's weird naming mechanic of like, oh no, that was the first iteration. It doesn't matter that it said like 2.5 or whatever, you know?
And that, you see, and then his nickname is even like, his barrel titer is even like a pun.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And he made the pin to give Suzuha the pin to make her feel better.
Yeah. Time travel.
Time travel is just messing with my head.
I, like, at a certain point in the episode, I was like, what the fuck's happening? Is it Daru? Is it not Daru? But, I don't know. I love it.
I love it.
It's
good.
And if
It's a
I'm
good
honest,
time.
I'm pretty sad about Suzuha. I think she's, like, half of it is her personality, half of it is her character design. Like, her character design is just, like, so great, like to me subjectively, and like I am really, really, really going to miss her.
I think because I don't view a way that we can get her back without bad things happening, because we can't, obviously she needed to go back, or we needed to try that, and it was only her. That's the whole title of the episode, is Sacrificial. I think that what I would want for her character is that by the end of this series, we see Daru meeting his wife, and then she's pregnant, and maybe the baby's born, and they name her Suzuha. You know, that sort of situation.
Yeah.
I think that I would need, and that holding a baby or looking at the baby and then looking at a safe world, you know, a future that has been saved.
Yeah.
While, like, say, like, Okabe's, like, the godfather of Suzuha, and he's holding her, and he's on the roof, and he's looking out at this world that he saved, and he's looking down at this baby that came back in time and told him to save the world. You know, that's an ending that I think I would be like, yes.
And it being this specific line that she reiterates: everyone gets help from someone else at some point in their lives, so someday you should help someone too. Broke me to my core. Okay. All right. That's all I have.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.